I want to bring in someone this morning who's very familiar with handling high-profile cases. This is attorney Anne Bremner, joining us live in studio. She most recently was defense attorney for Sheriff Ed Troyer. Yes. You represented former Governor Christine Gregoire and a number of other high-profile cases. First, I have to ask you, based on all the evidence we've now seen in public, the charging documents have been released public. What are your thoughts on this Kohberger case so far?
It seems like the evidence is overwhelming, but then again, you look at so much is in the media, so much is out there, we haven't heard his side, but the fact is right now with that probable cause affidavit and the search warrants, et cetera, affidavits, when you look at all of the just overwhelming evidence, you think, how could this case be defended?
You don't consider all that circumstantial evidence? You think it's pretty good and prosecutors have a pretty good case?
Well, especially when you're looking at DNA and things like that, and then all of the tracking of him before the fact, 12 times around the house, et cetera. There's a lot there to unpack in terms of a prosecution case that looks pretty strong right now.
You are also the spokesperson for the Friends of Amanda Knox, and you just wrote a new book called Justice in the Age of Judgment, talking about social media and the impact of that on cases. What is your opinion about social media now and the impact that could have on this case?
Well, it's like that Gertrude Stein quote, everyone gets so much information every day, they lose their common sense. And we have busy lives. We just look at headlines a lot of the times, or a paragraph here or something on a case like the Idaho case, or the Amanda Knox case, or anything else. We have confirmation bias and ideas in our heads about the way a case should go, and we make up our minds very quickly. And there's so much information out there right now. When you look at trials themselves, where the facts play out, like the Troyer case, for example, he was acquitted, but the media ahead of the case was pretty damning. Remember that? We had to kind of disprove what was out in the media. So it's a whole different world. Amanda Knox was kind of the start of an international internet social media and media case that she was damned before she was tried, and of course she was exonerated.
It's such an interesting topic. Also in your book you talk about getting fair trials and making sure that it's innocent until proven guilty. In this case, Latah County, Idaho, it's 40,000 people in this county. It's a small population.
Yes.
Everybody knows the case. How can someone like Kohberger get a fair trial?
Well, you talk about change of venue, we used to all the time, but how do you change venue when it's all over the worldwide news? So it's hard for him to get a fair trial, but you need to find jurors that can put aside what they've heard, put aside any biases, and try the case based on the facts and the evidence that comes from witnesses and evidence in court.
Do you think a gag order that this judge issued is going to help?
I think so. I think that was very smart. And they all agreed in advance. All the parties said, good idea, because everyone wants a fair trial. All sides want a fair trial.
Even though the public is hungry for details and information, it's what's needed.
Included. What a tragic, horrible case.
It is. It is. All right, Anne Bremner, thank you so much. Her book is Justice in the Age of Judgment. It's on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. We'll keep checking back. Stay in touch with us, okay?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, Anne.